This is Armin, Pirate Radio Broadcast. I don't think Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats, the establishment, want this pandemic to go away. They want it to last into Joe Biden's first couple of months so that they can have $1,200 breadcrumbs per person and massive amount of stimulus to corporations and businesses. And then 2 months later, another $1,200 breadcrumbs and massive stimulus debt. This is tax and spend, tax and spend. Instead of just having $2,000 per person for 12 months, what the economy needs to get kicking, because a lot of businesses have online capabilities. We don't need all this massive stimulus. Everything will work out. But the Democrats do not want things to work out. Their plan is if Joe Biden wins, that female Harris, who is a stooge of Hillary Clinton, she can name her vice president. They'll get rid of Joe Biden because he does have dementia. Right now, they're in denial because they need him to be president, to get a woman to break the glass ceiling, which the vice presidency is not something you break like glass. It's something you've got to respect the power. We are a nuclear arsenal world power. We are a Wall Street affiliated economic world power with local economies. You don't just give power, you have to respect it and respect the office. These Democrats are not respecting. What they are doing is tax and spend massive debt and breadcrumbs, $1,200 every 2 months. Massive amounts of debt. It's suffocating our economy. And that's why they don't want to empower the people with $2,000 per person, which will empower the local economies. And people will start going back to work eventually once this pandemic is solved. The pandemic hides in the reproductive and it attacks soft tissue, it attacks the respiratory, attacks the heart and the lungs. It is a very cleverly created and designed pandemic. That's why they call it the corona, because it's a crown. It acts like the male reproductive chasing after that female reproductive. And that's how it's designed. How do you stop pregnancy? In there lies the solution somewhere. This thing was created in some lab in China, and it's hiding in the reproductive of the male. It's hiding in the nuts. So, people, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Schumer, they have devised a scheme. It's like a Ponzi scheme. Massive debt and breadcrumbs for the people. Like if we're supposed to be, thank you very much, master. Give me more in 2 months. Yeah. That's why when I ran for mayor, I was forewarning that Osama bin Laden was going to strike. And they shut me down. And they were talking about being sister city to Reynosa, Mexico. And I started telling them, hey, Reynosa is controlled by the drug cartel. And they got mad at me. They decimated my campaign. And then a few months later, Osama bin Laden struck, and then after that, the drug cartel violence in Reynosa started making the news. I was proven right, but Bush Jr. used it as an excuse to go into Iraq and Afghanistan, two expensive wars, and a lot of young men came home dead. And then Saddam was removed, and there was a civil war, Shiite versus Sunni Muslims, and then came ISIS. The deceitful web that we weave when we weave deceit. Perception is the greatest deception. And there was a lot of that going on back then. These last 20 years, we have lived a past that was not meant to be lived in the future 20 years ago. And that's why now we have this pandemic economic crisis. Everything is off kilter. And all this massive debt and breadcrumbs, $1,200, is a future that is pounding on us before we even get there. Nancy Pelosi is insane, people. She's dangerous. Dangerous. So again, this is Armin, Chicken Little. The sky is falling. The sky is falling.